But
people.
it feels like
But if
Trump
we
is
did
being is
that,
it feels like Trump is being like instructed to echo the concerns of the people for like good boy brownie points. Oh yeah, W Trump. Yeah, are you tired of winning yet? Winning what?
yeah.
Gas is $6 a gallon. We're still in Iran. It's just up in the air in the Middle East still. The same regime is still in power. The same nutballs, different heads of the snake, but the same snake all the same. They're still murdering protesters.
They're still executing people. Yeah, absolutely.
So
What is different?
so we kidnap the leader of Venezuela. We get all of their oil and gas is still $6 a gallon. Either they're lying to us or they didn't really have that much oil. Why is the Strait of Hormuz open or not? As if this administration has not improved anybody's lives except for people that were already in a prosperous enough position to have money invested in the stock market.
Yeah, in the first place, exactly. Yeah.
People that were already well off are better off now. But people that are just normal, average citizens are considerably worse off. And there's no sort of upheaval that's going to happen. And the issue is the reliance on the government itself. Because I'll be honest, I thought that Trump was going to get in office this time. Everything's going to be great. He's going to fix the problems. He's going to arrest the people. They're not arresting anybody of note. They're getting no-named cartel sex traffickers, which is it a net benefit? Yeah. Yes, it is. ICE is deporting child predators. We don't need child predators in our country. It's not like nothing positive is happening, but nothing that they said was going to happen is happening either, which was the drainage of the swamp. Hey, what's up? How you doing? It's CJ Shaputin back with another video. Wife Isabella, and I kind of wanted to have a discussion, kind of centered around the White House shooting that has taken over, the news week and is what everybody's talking about, and now it's being used to, propagandize for the White House ballroom, which who even cares to begin with? It's also retarded, but nothing feels real anymore. Like we have been conditioned so much to realize that everything is actually not true. Everything is fake and manufactured, orchestrated, weaponized intentionally in order to brainwash the public, to psyop the public, to make them, not pay attention to the fact that our freedoms are being taken away, infringed upon, stomped on. And our founding fathers would have had a revolution 2 decades ago. It's just, but the way that the public has become so dependent on the ease of their lifestyle and how they take convenience over liberty, convenience over freedom.
It's like bread and circus. It's the same thing
I don't know what
as
that is.
the Romans. Like
Oh.
they would give you bread, you have your food, you have your circus, so you're distracted, and they go, do all the corruption and do whatever they want while you guys are distracted. And I just don't know how people don't. I mean, people are starting to wake up, but a lot of people are so late to the party.
It's very tardy to the party.
Yes.
And people are just retarded. Like it's their fault and it isn't, because the church has become cowards.
Weak.
A completely weak, spineless church with
Yes.
no, what's the terminology?
No backbone.
No, not backbone. Well, yes, but no self-preservation, no survival
Right.
instincts.
Yeah.
They don't realize that Islam is the wolf at the sheep gate, and we just want to sing kumbaya and act like everything is fine and just be nice to people, and not realizing that we are in the fourth quarter of the church age, and that this is not a game, and that we are playing with our own salvation by being weak, soft punks, not standing on the word of God, and our freedoms continue to get infringed upon. What examples do I have of that? Well, it was Congress, right? They just voted on the vehicles.
Yeah.
Okay. So the only time that conservatives and Democrats can come together is when it's time to take our freedoms away.
Right.
The only time that they decide to agree on things and work together seamlessly without any issues is when it is time to further indoctrinate slowly but surely the American populace into a police state. And what's really disgusting is that I think a large part of what these activist judges are doing by not criminalizing people deliberately, letting psychotic murderers, rapists on the streets, career felons. How are you a career criminal and you haven't been sent to the gallows yet?
Man, I don't know.
How have you beaten up women as like some grown psychotic man and you stab people and you have violent assault and armed robbery
Up to 40 to 50 prior charges.
and you're still why have your organs not been harvested for scientific research? Why have you not been experimented on like Auschwitz or something? Like that should be the fate that you are destined to when you are completely unfit for normal society. When you commit so many senseless heinous crimes, you're no longer a human being. You're an animal. You're a psychotic animal that can't follow the rules. You are unfit, you are unsafe for society. And these people are letting these people out of jail so that reasonable people react. And what happens when reasonable people react? Then they get to selectively use the law in order to destroy the sanctity and any semblance of sense and civility left in our society. Because when you push normal, well-intentioned, hardworking Americans, when you push them so much to the point where vigilante justice is the reasonable response, that is going to allow the current justice system to speed run a police state. And we are getting one shot by AI. We're getting one shot by a legacy media fear mongering everything. And it's going to get to a point where that's going to be the only option. But their entire goal is to pit us against each other. Because what can any private citizen do to legislate over another private citizen? Absolutely nothing. It's like our eyes are so fixated on fighting at each other and going at each other's necks when that's not who we should be angry at. These politicians, these Congress people, they need suffering. And that's not a call to violence. But like at what point when there are people deliberately destabilizing our society and they are allowing psychotic demons to roam among us that hate you, and then they propagate the exact same fearmonger tactics that legacy media uses to control people and to propagandize people, it's like there's no more options left.
I think that's part of the playbook, though. I don't think it's just division. I think it's part of the Marxist playbook for people to completely lose all trust and all hope in government. That's why you have the release of the Epstein files. That's why you have no arrests. I think this is purposely being orchestrated for us to completely lose all faith, all semblance of hope. I think this is all part of it, is completely not trusting the people who govern you. Like the government is supposed to work for us, like we the people. Now we the people are working for them. Quite literally, our tax dollars are being stolen to fund these elite lifestyles and to fund this fraud and propagandas and agendas. So at the end of the day, this is exactly what they want. There's actually a clip of Obama that I need to find saying exactly that.
Of course there is.
Saying exactly that. That
You just have to flood a country's public square with enough raw sewage. You just have to raise enough questions, spread enough dirt, plant enough conspiracy theorizing that citizens no longer know what to believe. Once they lose trust in their leaders, in mainstream media, in political institutions, in each other, in the possibility of truth, the game's won. And as Putin discovered leading up to the 2016 election, our own social media platforms are well designed to support such a mission, such a project.
And I guess it was applied to other nations, and now they're using that playbook against their own nation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
They
to lose
test it
all
out in
faith,
other countries, see
right?
how it's going to play out.
Exactly, absolutely.
Because
And
regardless if you grew up in Peru or Brazil, or Argentina
Right.
or France, you're still a human being and you're always going to have a human response. So it's like they pick these little underdeveloped nations to see the human response of them being completely under totalitarian
And
authoritarianism.
also, like, how far, I think they're also thinking, like, how far can we go? Because at the end of the day, people only really revolt when, we have our food, we have our water, we have our
Mm.
convenience. Once that is taken away, that's when people truly start, to create revolutions.
Nobody's going to change until their lifestyles are
Exactly.
no longer possible.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we're heading to, but because we're so comfortable in the present, we're not looking at the future. Humans only really do something when it's kind of too late. It's just
Mhm.
part of human nature. We have a really bad time at foreshadowing and
Our
foreseeing
default,
things.
the human default is the path of least resistance.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's so much easier to turn your phone off and put your head in the sand and keep going to work and keep buying your Goy Slop groceries
Right.
and just watching your Goy Slop media and, oh, Netflix went up another $4. Oh, well, whatever.
Right.
But their lifestyle has yet to be infringed upon.
Exactly. Everyone is still comfortable. Everybody still has everything that they
It's
need.
stressful. People are poor. People are in crazy amounts of
It's not
debt.
enough,
People
though.
are financing pizza. You
Yeah.
you can buy pizza on
DoorDash. You
Klarna.
can DoorDash. You can same thing with DoorDash.
It's
Uber Eats, everything. People
unbelievable.
are going into debt over a hamburger.
That's where we're at. And society does not have to be this way whatsoever. But to get back on topic of what I mentioned originally, because we haven't even talked about that White House shooting
True.
at all,
Yeah.
is by 2027, Congress came together, shocker, I know, to pass a bill that is going to mandate AI tracking technology in all new vehicles after 2027
Yeah.
that has a kill switch so that they can monitor your driving. And if the AI finds you unfit to be on the road, your car is going to shut off. It doesn't matter if you got to go to
Yeah.
work. It doesn't matter if you had to swerve around a pothole. And nobody is outraged about this. I haven't seen any big posts on social media. I've been the only creator on Instagram, at least, that I've seen so far that has even mentioned this.
I see, like,
There's like screenshots
screenshots of Congress.
Twitter posts.
Right. And screenshots of Congress and like a photo of Congress and them being like, oh, kill switches in the car. But yeah, I haven't seen anybody talk about it. And that's what my video is about too.
Because we're so consumed with, oh my gosh, the Democrats are crazy, they're evil, and they want to kill Trump again. Oh no. And it's like the more that I think about it, the more that it doesn't make any sense. How does a single random dude at the White House Correspondents' Dinner with some of the most important people, or not most important people, but some of the people in the most important positions of power in the country, including the president, the vice president, the first and second lady, are attending.
Right.
And some dude makes it into the hallway with a firearm.
I just was watching Tim Pool's video about this, and he goes to a lot of these conventions, and I think he said a lot that he shouldn't have said. And he was talking about how security is so lax, how Donald Trump wants to be approachable. You go to Mar-a-Lago and they don't frisk you. There's no, security detectors. There's literally nothing to prevent anybody from bringing a gun in and just shooting him point blank, because he wants to have this approachable, like laid back, you can come talk to me type of vibe. And he was going on and on and on about it, how all of these conventions are so like are just way too lax on security. Way too. It's not just this one. It's a lot of them. It's most of them.
Did you fact check the thing that you sent me yesterday about Trump saying that he would give up his freedom for security or give up his liberty for security, something like that?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't look it up.
Well, allegedly there's some Fox News screenshot that's going pretty viral that she sent me, where some new technology that apparently was weaponized against Trump when they were spying on his campaign.
Which is crazy
about-
that he would endorse it anyway.
Assuming that he did,
Right.
which is nuts. I guess my point is that every time this happens, I don't really remember any examples just off the top of my head, but I know for a fact that I've observed and paid attention to how every time our freedoms are infringed upon, there is always a distraction. And it's like clockwork. Every single time the government comes together to legislate against the people, there is a distraction. Why? It is because people are retarded. And when the news is hyper fixated on one thing, they inflate its importance inorganically. What's a bigger deal? Some psychopath ran into the White House Correspondents' Dinner and was being a retard? Or is it a bigger deal that Congress just legislated to have a kill switch in your car for whatever some arbitrary AI technology deems you unfit to drive anymore?
I think also because the Senate Republicans just voted on funding transgender surgeries for children.
I thought that was completely fabricated.
Was it? I was seeing so much stuff about it. How they, in the middle of the night, like, they just went ahead and passed it. Is that not real? That's not true.
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of something different.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's just it's extremely
Hope it's not real.
frustrating, and there's a purposeful campaign against the goal is the destruction of the middle class. Because when you no longer have the middle class, you have a binary two-class system where it's the rich people that own everything and it's the peons that own nothing. And you'll own nothing and be happy, and there are mortgages for homes that won't be able to be paid for in 2 lifetimes. And there is a complete artificial inflation of the value of homes, and it's making a lot of old boomers rich, which, you know, whatever, wonderful for them.
Well, they own 75% of the wealth. That's really interesting. Like, boomers own 75% of the wealth,
Well,
while
to be fair, there's a lot of people that are boomer age that have consolidated a lot of that wealth.
yeah, absolutely. And there's also a lot of boomers that are also in the same breath homeless, who can't even like provide their basic necessities for themselves.
Yeah, it's the trust has been completely eroded
Right.
from all of our governmental bodies, all of the legislation. Okay, so the Quality Learning Center just got raided by the FBI this morning.
Really?
It did. But it was already raided by the FBI.
Right.
Who the freak is in jail?
No. Yeah.
Why is Donald Trump on Twitter complaining about Ilhan Omar being an illegal sleazebag that married her husband that has embezzled $40 million, and they're shutting down their wineries and their businesses so that they don't get caught?
Right.
And he acknowledges the fact that she's funneling money back to Somalia. And why has her punk ass not been denaturalized yet?
It's part of the Marxist playbook. Just letting, there's a two-tier justice system where, people in power get away with everything. They're not held to any standard. They're not held accountable.
But it feels like Trump
we
is
did
being
that-
it feels like Trump is being like instructed to echo the concerns of the people for good boy brownie points. Oh yeah, W Trump. Yeah, are you tired of winning yet? Winning what?
Yeah.
Gas is $6 a gallon. We're still in Iran. It's just up in the air in the Middle East still. The same regime is still in power. The same nutballs. Different heads of the snake, but the same snake all the same. They're still murdering protesters.
They're still executing people. Yeah, absolutely.
So
What is different?
we kidnap the leader of Venezuela. We get all of their oil, and gas is still $6 a gallon. Either they're lying to us or they didn't really have that much oil. Why is the Strait of Hormuz open or not?
Yeah, it's like open, it's closed,
And
broke the ceasefire.
What bothers me is that the federal government could care less about the working class or the middle class person because they want to destroy us. So they see the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones and these random arbitrary evaluations of an American business is worth, and they see Green Arrow go up, while the normal people, the normal everyday people, their lifestyles were better in 2016. Their groceries were more affordable in 2016. Rent was more manageable in 2016. And it's like you could the economy and the stock market is completely separated into its own separate reality versus the lived experience of Americans.
Yeah.
I was way more financially stable in 2024 than I am now. I was way better off in 2023 than I am now. And there's plenty of different factors that contribute to that. But the reality is that this administration has not improved anybody's lives except for people that were already in a prosperous enough position to have money invested in the stock market.
Yeah, in the first place, exactly. Yeah.
People that were already well off are better off now. But people that are just normal, average citizens are considerably worse off. And there's no sort of upheaval that's going to happen. And the issue is the reliance on the government itself. Because I'll be honest, I thought that Trump was going to get in office this time. I was propagandized. Most of us were.
We fell for it.
Everything's gonna be great. He's gonna fix the problems. He's gonna arrest the people. They're not arresting anybody of note. They're getting no-named cartel sex traffickers, which is it a net benefit? Yeah. Yes, it is. ICE is deporting child predators. We don't need child predators in our country. It's not like nothing positive is happening, but nothing that they said was going to happen is happening either, which was the drainage of the swamp.
He's upholding the swamp like never before because everyone is completely compromised. Like we expect criminals to hold other criminals accountable, and that's just not going to happen.
Literally, the government is a mafia.
Yes. It's worse. Like what? It's worse. They're like all the scientists that have gone missing.
Just offing them.
Like,
hey, yeah, TikTok, have you guys seen the new season of Invincible?
yeah.
Did you guys see Stranger Things?
Right.
People that are in jet propulsion and UFO studying and anybody that has enough knowledge to be able to counteract whatever the next major psyop is going to be are being murdered, and there's only a handful of people on social media even concerned about it. Normal people are retarded. Stop being just led by propaganda. Stop being one shot by your algorithm.
On both sides, on the left and the right.
Why don't you care? The Trump dick suckers, you guys suck just as much as the liberals do. Because all you want to do is fight against them because all of your other magatards just hate them categorically.
Right.
And do liberals want conservatives dead? Are they nut jobs? Yes. That's still not the enemy. That is like, it's like a level 1 thug in like San Andreas or something.
But it's really interesting because they're using this Bolshevik tactic where back in that time when Marxism was taking over, they, people killing politicians that were opposed to that Marxist agenda, they were using nurses to kill them. They were using teachers. They completely indoctrinated the education system. The same exact thing that the Bolsheviks did is now happening to the United States of America. They've done this several times over to other countries. They're taking playbooks from other nations and they're doing the exact same thing. Mao, like the whole Red Hats, he used their education systems to indoctrinate them and they wouldn't question anything.
And when you don't know your history, you are doomed to repeat it. That's why the only 2 things that they teach you about in the American education public school system is Hitler and slavery.
Right.
That's it. That's why the stupid ass liberals that want to call everything and everybody a Nazi because they don't agree with them is because they don't have anything else to go off of.
Yeah,
because they were programmed, and people are taught not to think for themselves. They're not taught how to think, they're taught what to think.
Yeah.
And it's drilled into their mind, and that's why it's so remedial. Why do you think every single year of your education system when it comes to history It is the same subject matter. There's just a bigger, deeper propaganda drill. We talked about Hitler and slavery all 4 years of my high school,
Right.
elementary and middle school. And that is just funneled. This propaganda revisionist history is funneled so that people grow up and they go to college or get in, $50 to $100,000 of debt, and then they're forced to work for X amount of time, unless they come from a rich family or they were given um, a scholarship. But even when you get into college, you're still taught the same things.
It's just that indoctrination is just reinforced in college.
And
Literally.
then when you think outside of the box, you're punished for it.
And it gets
When
yeah.
when you question things, you're punished for it. So not only do they not even teach you how to think for yourself, you are disincentivized to think for yourself because it's easier to go along with the programming to pass. Because none of this stuff makes sense. And these ideas, like all these liberal communist ideas, they have to exist. I don't know if in a vacuum is the right terminology, but they can't exist on their own. They have to be like inoculated from the truth and then repackaged as the truth. Like fat acceptance and trans children. The only reason why these things were able to exist in their echo chambers on social media is because anything counter to it was deplatformed and punished. Like they have to manufacture a consensus, and then they're so heavy-handed and overwhelming with it
Right.
that you hear it and see it so much, you start to believe it's the consensus. The truth is, the overwhelming majority of people, when you ask them without a camera, what do you think about transitioning a 6-year-old that doesn't even know if they want ketchup or honey mustard with their chicken nuggets? They think that that's nuts. They think that that's insane. But when the powers that be and the institutions that be play it on repeat 24/7, and then one side placates to the people that know that it's retarded, and the other side placates to the retards that have been brainwashed into just being categorically retarded, we keep fighting each other. And it's gotten so bad to the point where our fellow man can't disagree with us, and now they want to rationalize political violence. What happens when political violence is rationalized? It's normalized. And when it's normalized, guess what? The powers that be are going to cherry pick legislation to speed run a police state. So they're creating an untenable environment for normal citizens.
Right.
They're manufacturing a society that no reasonable person wants to live in. And then they punish you for responding in the reasonable way, because the justice system won't arrest these people. The justice system won't arrest the fraudsters, like the real ones, not the ones that benefited from the higher up fraud. They won't arrest the high up fraudsters, because then they can pretend that they're doing something about it, and they're just continuing to allow the high up fraudsters to continue within the fraud. They're min-maxing your tax dollars and thinking, should I buy a mega yacht or another Rolls Royce? Or like, they don't care about you. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And when you live in a universe where you're in positions of power and the entire justice system is on your side because you're doing just as much dirt as they are, there's no honor among thieves.
Right.
So it just continues progressing worse and worse and worse. And I think that the goal of this, two wings of a single bird, is to just make people so agitated and so distrustful and so just angry at injustice that they start taking the justice upon themselves. And I can see that. I just feel that that's the end goal. The end goal is to make us damn near in a civil war. The powers that be want society to look like the Purge. And then they'll have a justification to take everything, to take all of our freedoms, all of our liberties. There will be a curfew. They want to take all the jobs with AI. They want you dependent on the government. They want you taking these monthly checks.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get a freaking like a carbon limiter. They're gonna like turn off your screen so that you can't have entertainment as long as you want. And then the losers, the bottom barrel, most pathetic, retarded, self-serving, just lowest level intellect people are going to view this governmental control as an equalizer, to where they think that, okay, well, I suck. I can't speak. I don't have any personal agency of my own. I can't do for myself. I can't provide for myself. And maybe they can, but they don't want to, because again, human beings' default is the path of least resistance. So they're going to willingly accept the burden of their own destiny to be placed on the government to take these checks, and they're going to eat their cricket burger goy slop, and they're going to like it. And the rest of us are going to lose all of our freedoms, and then they're going to want us to get to a point where we start revolting and we start dragging these politicians out of their homes, and then they're going to start weaponizing the military against us, and we're just going to live in complete control, 15-minute cities where every single thing that we do is tracked, managed, and taxed with money that we didn't even earn.
And that's why they're doing the kill switches. You're dissident against the government, can't travel. You do something that they don't like, you get no meat for the week or the month or whatever it might be. Like, people really don't understand what's coming down the pipeline.
It frustrates me so much, because I couldn't imagine a universe where I couldn't see the writing on the wall. Like, how have people become so docile? Everything. That's how, actually. I answer my own question. Everything I just said.
Yeah.
Chemtrails, chemicals and soy in the food, poisoning the environment. And you know what? I was thinking about this when I was at work yesterday. I was like, there's all these vaccines, and we know that they are a complete net negative to your physiology.
Right.
And they're meant to make you susceptible to sicknesses. And
They do completely destroy your
and then
immune system.
and then they create drugs to counteract the damage that the other drugs are doing.
Right.
How these demons, they study the human body like no other. And
They study human psychology like no other as well.
human psychology and human physiology.
Yeah.
They analyze it, they break it down, they cross reference it to things in rats and mice and different animals, of how people and creatures are going to respond to the stressors.
Exactly.
So they came up with just the right chemical balance of drug and environmental poisoning. And I think that when you take these drugs and you take these vaccines and you get these shots, how much more susceptible do you think those things are making your body to EMFs, to radiation poisoning,
Just complete mind control, in my opinion.
to chemtrail brain chemistry, and how that alters it? And it's like, where there's so many chemtrails? The hood. There are so many chemtrails. And it's like, people are always at each other's necks. They're always fighting one another. There's always a problem. It's always an issue. There's always beef. There's always hating your neighbor. And it's like they're the architects of having the lowest income places with the most crime. They're architects of having them only be able to afford the worst food that's going to make them easier to control.
I mean, we're quite literally being poisoned from every single direction. Every single direction, from the air to the food,
Your phone,
to the
your
products
AirPods.
you use, makeup, shampoo, conditioner, body wash, soap, everything you could possibly think of.
On top of them hijacking media to put everything that they want you to think, every idea that they want you to have reinforced about society, into what you ingest passively.
Yeah.
And you can't, it's impossible for a human being to have good output when they don't have good input. Garbage in, garbage out.
That's why people detox.
I'm not even talking about that necessarily. It's more so just
But it will help. It will. Like, the amount of heavy metal that they're spraying in the sky is ridiculous. This guy went on to I don't know if it was Fox News. He went on to some news program saying, I can't believe half the population doesn't have dementia. And we are seeing Alzheimer's and dementia in people as young as 25 now.
And both of us just keep losing our trains of thought
Yeah.
all the time. I mean, we are kind of nerving ourselves in certain aspects
Yeah.
with our sleep meds, but
It's just in conjunction with, chemtrails and 5G towers. 6G is going to be rolling out soon. They're
and
going to
we're
have quantum
still
mechanics.
and we're still getting taxed for 40% of our income. But we just have the basic necessities. We got our video games and we got our shows and we got our reality TV and our Starbucks, and everybody's content with being a slave. American society are the bougiest slaves in the world.
Yeah.
Is this still the greatest country in the world? By the grace of God, yes. We currently have the most opportunity than any other nation. That is a fact. It's easier to make something of yourself somehow still in America, but that window is closing so fast. And if you take nothing else away from this video, if you made it this far, the reason why I am so heavy-handed, or I have been so heavy-handed with how bad the government is and how they're working in conjunction with everything to destroy our society, our civility, our health, our mental, is because nobody is coming to save you except for Jesus. And there are a lot of people that have a lot of sense, that are intelligent, that see the writing on the wall and know that something is wrong. When it is confirmed to you that the highest people in our government and the richest people on the face of the earth and the people with the most power and the most influence in the highest positions of power, when it is revealed to you that these people eat babies, rape children, when they are in satanic sex cults and they do rituals in the woods and they dress up and sing just like demonic hymns in Latin. If they believe in evil, that means there has to be a good. If they worship Satan, that means God is real. It canonizes God when they put the same propaganda that they actually do, because they have to tell you what they're doing with their, what's that rule called? Karmic retribution?
Karmic retribution. Yeah.
So through that, when they tell you what they're doing, when they're trying to clone people, they're trying to play God, they want to transfer their consciousness into some AI supercomputer and live forever because they're afraid of the what? Of the judgment of God for being sick, godless demons.
And it's like Satan can't create. He can't create anything.
No, he's a created being.
Right. Only God can create things. He can only replicate. And you see Bill Gates, with this lab grown meat, carbon butter. It goes on and on and on. They want to quite literally kill all life on Earth, which is why they're buying up all the farmland. They're going to starve us out. They're killing the bees. Without bees, nothing can be pollinated. So they want to quite literally replace everything and replicate everything and grow everything in a lab. And that's what we're headed for.
If you're a intelligent person, if you think that everything that we've been saying, or majority of the things that we've been saying up until now, are valid, and you know that the government's evil and you know that the government hates you, I'm telling you, I implore you, we don't have time to be playing around. You have to develop a relationship with God, because there's no earthly being is coming to save you. No president, no set of people in Congress, no new politician, no world leader, no celebrity, no human being, no flawed, sinful being is coming to save you. But Jesus Christ is coming back again, whether you believe that or not. You need to purchase a Bible if you don't have one. You need to download the Bible app if you don't have it. And you need to develop and foster a relationship with Christ. If not now, when?
Please, even just 5 minutes a day. You don't have to read the whole entire Bible in a week. You don't have to read it overnight. Just dip your toe. Spend just 5 minutes a day reading scripture. See for yourself, why is it that the smartest people in the world, all of these atheists as well, who have tried to completely debunk Jesus Christ, have ended up completely devoting their lives to him?
Exactly.
There's a reason for that. So if they can do that, the most skeptical people on the planet can do that, I guarantee you can as well.
The Bible has never been archaeologically, or historically disproven ever. The Bible has the most cross references over thousands of years
1,300 years. Like, how is that possible?
because it is divine.
And inspired by God.
That is how.
Yes.
Oh, it was written by men. No, God put his spirit on men to write it.
Right.
It wasn't written by men. It's not a fan fiction. It's not a fiction period. All of the apostles died brutal, horrific deaths.
You don't die for a lie. You just don't.
They walked with Jesus and they suffer the consequences for it because this world hates him. Why? The only religious figure that is ever mocked in Hollywood, in music, it's always Jesus. They don't mock Buddha. They don't mock Muhammad. They don't mock the Hindu or the Shinto gods or the Chinese deities.
Right.
Never. Why would the devil attack who's already on his team? And you don't have to worship the devil to worship the devil.
Right.
You just don't worship God. You just worship yourself. You only care about yourself. You're only a lover of self. You're only interested in what's going to be a net benefit to your life.
Exactly.
You're not charitable. You're not compassionate. You're not decent and kind.
He also doesn't need you to do bad things. Satan doesn't need you to go murdering and doing all these horrific things. He just also needs you to be stuck.
As long as you are away from God, the devil is winning.
Exactly.
And if you're skeptical about the scriptures, if you're skeptical about the apostles, if you're skeptical about the stories in the Bible or Noah's Ark, how many things are in your everyday life that you're not skeptical about?
Yeah.
Noah's Ark has been found. The flood happened. There are seashells on the Grand Canyon. God's fingerprints are all over this world.
Yeah, there are fish, fossils being found, of ocean creatures on the highest mountains in the world.
How else does that happen? So for all the distrust that we have of this nation, of the leaders of the world, the winds of the end time are going at 20 miles an hour right now. And end times nations that have been mentioned in the Bible that will be in conflict are now dancing around the idea of jumping in this conflict with Iran, Russia, and China, which will be in the Gog-Magog war that is going to usher in the end of days. And that is what Trump is here to facilitate. Trump's life was spared by Almighty God, not to save society, not to bring America back,
Right.
not to fix all of our problems, but to bring upon the end of days. So
This is all in the Bible. It is all in the Bible. So
that's your hope. Your hope should not be in a president. You think Trump cares about you? If you died tomorrow, everyday life would go on. Do you want to die separated from the Lamb of God? No, you don't. Because if you understood how graphic, how weighted eternity separated from Christ Jesus was, if you knew the gravity, the weight of eternal damnation, never ending, Judas did not make it to the kingdom.
right.
He's been there. Pastor Philip mentioned this on that Bryce Crawford podcast I listened to yesterday. He's been there for 2 millennia by now, because he died in 33 AD, the same year Jesus was crucified. And guess what? It's going to be another 2 millennia, and another 2, and another 2, and another 2 indefinitely forever. You know why? Because he chose to be absent from Christ. That is what he chose. He knew that Jesus was the Son of God, and he sold him out for a bag of silver and killed himself. Do not let that be you. Please, 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 I implore you. Just try. What are you going to lose? A few hours?
Right.
A few minutes a day? Pick up a Bible. At least try. Invite Christ into your heart. You can be scared. You can be nervous. You can be like, oh, whatever. Just try him. Just try.
And he does show himself differently to everybody, right? Not everybody's the same, and he completely understands that. So if you genuinely invite Jesus Christ into your life, he will show himself to you in the way that you need, not in the way that
Exactly.
I need, not in the way that TJ needs. He knows everything. He knows our hearts.
It's tailor-made to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time. Gracias. That'll do it. Subscribe to my gaming channel. Follow me on Instagram if this is your first time seeing me at TJ Extra I got all my links down below in the description. I have a gaming channel. My next video is going to be a deep dive into Crimson Desert because I believe it is the One Piece of video games. Because the longer you play it, the better it gets, and the more in depth it becomes. It's absolutely amazing. It's phenomenal. It's my favorite. It's turning in Black Myth Wukong, which is on my freaking with my wallpaper right now. Ever since I played it, it's been my favorite game of all time. I think Crimson Desert's taking that spot for me. So yeah, it's been TJ Extra I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm gonna link. She has a YouTube channel as well. I'm gonna link it down below. Subscribe to her, follow her. I'll probably link your Instagram down if you care.
Sure. I'm
Okay.
doing a video about climate change soon. It's gonna be really good.
Heck yeah. Alrighty. If you made it this far, I love you. I appreciate it. Catch you in the next one. Deuces.